good morning, and thank you for letting us into your space and into your day. This is Enterprise Morning reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
All right, we're about to get to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. I will get everything all sorted out for you. Please do well to be part of our community. Join our tribe and have a say in what we say. You can always find us at Enterprise TVnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studios to do justice to all of that, we have newspaper headlines and possibly get to our main conversation today. Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, Cyril.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
John and Henry.
Thank you
Glad
for
to be
joining
here.
us
Still in
today.
the spirit of
Yeah, still in the spirit of the celebration.
yes, the Independence Day.
Yes, it's been the celebration. All right, so let's get into our newspaper headlines today. And let's start with the Vanguard newspaper.
Yes, the big story here on the Vanguard newspaper. Fearless in October protest. Soldiers please crack down on protesters in Rivers, Abuja, and Kano. We have few riders to the particular story, but I will take one. Arrest 5 leaders in Kano. Stop media coverage of process in Rivers State.
And also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, a very sad story there. Gunmen set National Open University of Nigeria facility ablaze in Imo State.
Okay, moving on. I didn't steal Cardinal's money. Can swear with Quran, says ex-governor El Rufai. Details are on page 14.
Yes, and just above that particular story, Independence Day speech, Tinubu failed to address Nigerians' problem. That's coming from the CSOs.
Okay, on the top strip of the Vanguard newspaper, Emirates land in Lagos 2 years after suspending operation. I think that is a good story. Details are on page 10.
All right, so let's get international right now. Iran launches some missiles attack on Israel. Cyril Abaku, let's maybe touch the international scene just before we come domestic. That is, of course, it's making a big story around the world. International media stations are talking about it. It's all over the place. I remember we talked about it a day before, or yesterday. Yes, and we talked about an all-out war in the Middle East. What the world dreaded is just before it, an all-out war. Iran about 180 ballistic missiles on Israel. What do you think is coming up?
One thing I've learned about the Middle East is that the more you think you have understood what could happen, what's going on, things just take a different bend. So, for example, who would have believed that there wouldn't have been serious retaliation on Israel from Lebanon, for example, after the strikes that killed Nasrallah and the pager attacks and so on? Israel is now launching a ground offensive into Lebanon, but there's no resistance
from the Lebanese.
Yes, from Hezbollah or from any. I mean, possibly because they've decapitated
Yeah,
them.
of course, yeah.
Okay. Then look at Gaza. They've driven the Palestinians, the Hamas away from the Gaza, from Gaza. Then they've killed the military commander of Hamas and killed the political leader. Let's be careful, because you don't just take people out like that and then there's no serious attack. There's no serious resistance on Israel. First was airstrike, then later was ground assault. Now Iran is angry that Israel has killed Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, has killed Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, and the other, I can't pick his name now, the leader of the
one that was killed in Beirut.
Yes, in Syria.
Okay, in Syria, okay.
Yes, the a commander of their elite military team, the ICRG or the IRCG. So I'm wondering if Iran is angry with Israel and they therefore fired those missiles at Israel, and Israel's Iron Dome sort of blocked, a good number of them.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that all Israelis are in bomb shelters, and I think the only person that was confirmed killed, was even in Gaza, a Palestinian who was out there for whatever reason.
Let's not forget, just before that particular attack, a gunman, 2 Palestinians actually killed 7 Israeli just 2 hours before that strike. So do you think all of this were planned?
Yeah, but I mean, what is Israel's response? Because Israel has said that nothing in Iran is beyond reach. I know they don't make empty boasts. So if they could do it to Hamas, they could do it to Hezbollah. I'm wondering what their response to Iran will be.
Yes, the former prime minister said on CNN and BBC also that the first point of taking out will be the nuclear facilities, the energy sector, which means the whole of Iran might not have light,
Right.
power, and so on and so forth. Iran equally said if they dare do it, that they would ensure that the whole region goes bad. So, how sad situation is?
Because largely the Middle East, or what some people call West Asia, is a land for a lot of proxy wars, if you know what I mean. So Israel has its allies, Iran and also have the allies. Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy, Hamas is an Iranian proxy, and so
Houthis.
yes, even the Houthis in Yemen, we have also fired on Israel, which means that they're willing to open the top front. But the point I'm making is, in Iran, there's a lot of discontent among Iranians. Because whenever they fight for, common Iranians are not necessarily Islamic are not theocratic fanatics. They don't share in the fanaticism of the Ayatollah and his people. So if common Iranians, whenever common Iranians want reforms, it is these same elite military forces that are often sent to shoot at them and to fire on them and to contain. And then it is this same act that is firing on Israel. So common Iranians are praying that Israel will teach.
Are you sure of this?
Now, yes, now I want to mention something. Why
They are hoping that someone will teach these people a lesson. They've killed their brothers, killed their sisters, killed their mothers, jailed their fathers.
But that's not where Iran is coming from.
Somebody will teach this Iranian government a lesson. And the only person that they know that can do that thing for them is Israel. So I think somehow common Iranians are praying that they will come when Israel has good reason to deal decisively with the Iranian government. And I think these are just giving up.
Iran also have their reason for wanting to deal with Israel. And I'm going to read that. They said they do not recognize Israel's right to exist and seek its eradication. They have spent years backing paramilitary organizations opposed to Israel.
You see, I mean, I'm in a TV studio. Otherwise, in this Iran, Israel, the whole Middle East issues, right? When I pass by, and it's better you don't get involved. Don't ever get entangled in it. Let me remind you that when Israel was recognized as a country in 1940, when Israel was created, Iran was the second country to recognize Israel. Of course.
Yeah, they accepted them. The boats came in the first time. Yeah.
It was a revolution that changed everything.
Yeah, very true.
So Iran, so if you say that it was not what Egypt was doing until Yom Kippur. They were calling Zionist entity until when Israel held them in their vice grip. They had to beg. They said the condition for letting you go, for forgiving you for your madness, is you are going to recognize us as Israel. The Egyptian people say if that's all you need, we will do it for you. So my own concern is, why is it that whenever Israel takes on any of their neighbors, Israel doesn't really have to be the one that bears the brunt. They're always emerge victorious. I mean, we can read about history. So anybody daring Israel, well, maybe it has to wait for how Israel responds. But I for one, I'm really waiting to see what Israel does.
Now, but when you started, you made a comment. You said, when you think you know where this is heading, it takes a turn.
Yes.
If you're saying Israel at this point don't feel the bond, and Iran looking at maybe proposing that they would actually overcome Iran,
well, I mean,
we never can tell how it's going to go.
Yeah.
So do you see it, if you are to just guess about how it's going to turn out, do you see Iran in the end coming out victorious?
No, they will not. And it's for obvious reasons. You see, before there's this elite military unit in the IDF. It is called Unit 8200. It is arguably one of the arguably the most advanced military unit in the world. It will be comparable to what you have in Russia and America and so on. The Unit 82, they were the ones that caused, are thought to have caused the the power outage in Iran some time ago. They brought Iran's power system down. Now ask yourself, how secure is a country in which the country's facility for hosting its most important guests, and they hosted somebody and a foreign actor could kill the person in that place. They could plant a bomb in that house. How many years it was in Iran, it was killed.
Yeah.
On the day they were inaugurating a new president. Come on. So I hope Iran has what it takes to back their rhetoric, their belligerent rhetoric, because in the end, Israel didn't attack Iran. Okay, Israel only attacked Iranian proxies, and they are angry. Well, along with the IRs, the commander of the elite military wing. But like I said, it is interesting. I would like to see how this plays out.
Okay.
I might as well say, just as a dispassionate observer, right? I just want to see
how
this
it unfolds.
plays out.
Of course, we
What
can't say
best action
this.
will be.
Yes, definitely. We can't say this without, of course, involving the big elephant in the house, America. Yesterday, there was a vice presidential debate between Senator Vance and Governor Walz, right? And they talked about the first question that was directed at them was what they saw on this particular matter. What they thought, the different candidates would do to help in this. Each of them said they were going for Israel. They were supporting Israel, which of course might jeopardize a large chunk of Muslim voters in different
America,
constituencies in America. So, how do you think, from the political scene domestically, do you think they really care if the Muslim vote is
So
taken
to ask
away
myself,
as a result of that?
What is the Muslim voter, and what impact does that have on the electoral college, which is the real voter or elector of an American president, right? And then the American Muslim world itself, well, I don't know what their ratio is in terms of determining. So, but if even there's a bipartisan consensus on supporting Israel, even Obama that had a bit of soft spot for the Muslim world, how much could he really do? We even saw Netanyahu come to America to campaign against Obama. Yeah, so I think it's a fait accompli. Look, let's be frank about this matter, right? I don't think that Israel's neighbors have anything to lose if there was actual peace with Israel, which was where things were going. Israel and the Saudis were about to normalize.
Yeah.
Then what will then happen on October 1? Somebody is saying there should be no peace, and it's not Israel, it is Iran.
Even if we all know that the occupation is the main cause of all of this.
Yeah, but I mean, if normalization was okay, hold on. So at the time the Israelis came back to their homeland, okay, they didn't entirely leave the homeland. There are still those who stayed on till Israel came back, right? Okay, good. And they bought and then they began to buy farms, buy out the land, until they bought a large quantum. If you've bought, you've bought. By the time Britain said, okay, these guys have already significantly bought out a lot of areas and Europeanized the areas because they came from Europe. Okay, Palestinians, this is what's going to happen. You guys take what is left of it because you've sold.
Okay.
Take what's left of it. Then let it be a 50 to 51, and then the remaining one should be the Gaza Strip, the middle of the place. Palestinians said no. They could have also been. They said no. When you say no, then you start fighting Israel. Israel then says, okay, if even as a non-country, you can be this serious in your action against us, how much if you became a country? In Israel, there are Arabs, there are Muslims, there are Jews, there are non-Jews, there are all kinds of tendencies. But Palestine is a single entity state. So they said, okay, you know what? Let the fight continue. For the fact, historically, Israel didn't take the fight to them. That fight was brought to Israel. The Yom Kippur was brought to Israel. The 6-day war was brought to Israel. So, Henry, talking about this matter is sensitive, but I mean,
all right.
for now,
Yeah.
I want to see how Israel responds to Iran. If they're even going to say, okay, you know what, we're not going to retaliate, one piece, let us all come together. I'll be happy if that happens. But whether Israel will do that or not is what I don't know.
Well, the funny part of all of this is it always has a way of trickling down to us, because if all of this, if the Middle East gets engulfed.
Oh.
You know, the stock exchange will be affected.
Affected.
Lots of things will become difficult, especially for
Oil
Nigeria.
prices.
Oil prices will
Yes.
go up and all of that, especially for an import dependent country like ours. Of course, we might definitely suffer for that. But let's get into the Independence Day speech. Tinubu failed to address Nigerians' problems. CSOs, of course, the PDP have come up to say that they weren't satisfied on that particular. If you listened to that particular speech, right after the national anthem, the new national anthem, the first thing the president said was, "I feel your pain. We understand your grievances and all." So let's start from there. Do you think the president truly does understand the pains of Nigerians?
I want to believe, as a person, he arguably does, but as a government, perhaps not.
Why?
Well, if you do feel our pain, what is the panacea to the pain? Because we were already in pain before he came. Then he walked us into even deeper pain. If the president will fire the NNPC boss and put somebody there who will not be manipulating the market, okay, maybe we could have gotten some respite, but he chose to leave Mele Kyari, which means that Mele Kyari is acting for him. So even if he feels our pain as a person, as government, he does not. The problem today, Mele Kyari is a part of it. The CBN arguably is a part of it. And all these people are acting at his BS. If you do not like the performance, do something about it. By the way, there is an economic council that was formed. I can't remember the name. I know Okpene Abaja is there. Doyin Salami was retained. And so what have they really told the president? What have they given him any report? Is he willing to do anything about it? There is no country that is why we are not fighting war. And we're passing through a tunnel where we're buying fuel for 2,000 naira per liter. What kind of reform are we really reforming? Henry and Choma, what reform are we reforming? That the price of that we're buying fuel at 1.5, 2,000 naira per liter. That you cannot afford electricity, that you cannot afford transport. What reform are we really reforming? People have stolen money in this country. Is it that we are arresting them, putting them on trial? Maybe we're saying, okay, we've gotten $20 billion. When we get up to $1 trillion, then we cannot begin to put it back into the economy. What is the thing that we are doing? That we're saying at the end of it, maybe less than 6 months' time, we begin to see results. It's not there. So what is the pain he's feeling? As a person, he may feel the pain. But as a government, I don't think he does. I frankly don't think he does.
All right.
Okay.
Still on that particular speech, 15 minutes down the line on that particular speech, he talked about organizing a national youth conference. Of course, just to address the grievances of our youth in Nigeria. We are yet to know how much that will cost. Hosting significant number of people for 30 days, billions of naira. We still don't know how much that would cost. But do you think that is the solution to addressing the lingering problem from
It's
Nigeria?
not the solution. It's not the solution. You see, there's something Nigeria does. We like talk shops. We like things that can help us to buy time. We like the, we were told that after NSAS, money was given to a lot of young people to, just get them to say, please, if they call you next time, don't take part in it. Then later on, before the August protest took place, we also told the people we were invited and given money to say, don't join the protest. And even if you went there, scatter the protest. Did you notice now that with the October protest, the numbers were less?
Yeah, very true.
And now there's a youth confab. It's like saying finally there's an opportunity for us to now formally go and, I don't know what to call that. But you see, there's only a mile or a distance that money can travel. There are real issues that must be addressed. The money we will spend organizing our confab, why don't we put it into productive things? There are a lot of young Nigerians who have. I just.
Thank you so much, Sirius. Thank you.
All right, so let's look at the boat mishap in Niger State. Over 150 passengers missing in Niger boat accident.
Yeah, Cyril Abako, it was learned that the tragic incident involved a boat that was transporting over 300 individuals, predominantly women and children, which capsized during a journey to celebrate Maulud on Tuesday. That was yesterday. Now, at this point, would ask, don't we have waterways security, who actually see to these issues, or are they just business people that just go in and just do their thing without the right
Nigeria.
operatives?
Nigeria is enough for Nigeria. Our country is enough for itself. You know that poet that said, the world is too much with us. We have no place to stand or stay. That's where we are. Nigeria is too much for itself. There was a mishap that took. Do you know how many mishaps we got?
Yes, we've got a lot of mishaps since
There was that
2023.
one that happened. Was it between Lokoja and somewhere? People went for a wedding last year, just last year. Short after the
September.
president came into office. Yes, people in their hundreds perished. And you, so then what? The problem about both mishaps have become a serious and grave national embarrassment, because almost every year there's a major boat mishap in this country and nobody does anything about it. In fact, there was one that happened last year. The president was somewhere in France or India. The next when he came back, he told the people they said you can investigate it. But the argument is that an accident is prepared before it even happens. People are traveling in that large number. What kind of boat were they going in? I may be wrong, but I'm not very much aware that even in busy Lagos, we have boats that carry people to that tune, to that number.
300.
Yes.
300.
One. Number two, did they have vessels? Is there a manifest? Can we even check who? Because now we had that when the accident happened, volunteer. What's volunteers? Fishermen and passers-by,
Proper.
village people. What is the act? What's the standard operating procedure for emergency rescue on the waterways? If it's not there, then that was money budgeted for these things. So whose neglect has caused the accident? Because like I said, it is from the jetty, from the terminal that people, they must have life vests. There was a manifest, and perhaps there should be insurance. Look at traveling now on this sort of high sea, maybe it's River Niger, River Benue. That's quite an expensive body of water. How do people travel like this in Europe and other places? But you know, for us, if you manage to afford the fare, you have entered promise, you enter the boat and pray that God will make it across the river. Please, this is needless. There's a point where neglect is the problem, no longer people's ignorance. Frankly speaking, well, this story is curious because I was wondering, 300 got into the water, 150 were rescued.
Cute.
Then what now happened to the remaining 150? Because there's only a certain amount of time somebody can spend underwater, frankly speaking.
And sad enough, it's predominantly women and children.
Children.
Very so sad.
Going for a religious rite. I hope that we learn our lessons this time. But again, the question will be who cares? Because, like I said, every year we keep falling into this same mess. Today it is Jeba, tomorrow it is in Kaduna, Niger, Kwara. So what is anybody doing about it? Why don't we have preventive measures? The other time, it was a filmmaker. And the entire that got submerged in water. And when they managed to get out the young man alive, they were asking they should take him to a shrine. It was a native doctor that told them to take him to hospital. And they were calling the name of Jesus in the shrine.
It's actually a very sad one.
I sincerely, I don't know.
Yes. Well, we pray their souls,
Rest.
would find rest, of course. That's just about the size of our segment today. We'd love to say thank you to Cyril Abaku.
Thank you,
Thank you
Cyril.
so very much.
And when
Right.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
And when we return, Nigerians' Independence Day marred by protests against government's anti-poor measures. We'll be right back.